Relationship complexology. This is what we are going to discuss today. So, we all know what is psychology. So, psychology often looks at the individual behavior, where me, my mind, my behavior is concerned. So, that's why when people feel something is wrong with their emotions or with their mind, they go to a psychiatrist. But today we are not going to talk about the psychology of relationships, but we are going to talk about the complexology of relationships. So, this itself tells us that relationships are complicated. Definitely, relationships are not simple and they are complicated because relationship is nothing to do with the self, but it is to do with the two people. So, it is something to do with the interaction. Maybe the current relationship in which you are right now, you might feel, no, my relationship is very simple. But then, if you're saying your relationship is simple, that means you and the other person who's involved, the interaction between both of you is at peace. At the same time, you should also consider how your relationship is with B, with C, with D, with E. With more relationships, you'll understand things are complicated because it is things between you and the other person. That's why, if suppose there are a group of 50 people, our bond goes very well with 1, 2, 3, or maximum 5 to 6 people. With remaining people, it becomes tough or it is at the surface level because it is all about the interacting systems. So here, when I say interacting system, when I say a relationship, it is like person A and person B. So a relationship is persons A past plus persons B past. Here, two nervous system interacts. The nervous system of person A and the nervous system of person B. Two attachment styles come together. Two unspoken expectations come together. Two cultural conditionings come together. Two emotional memories come together. And two energy exchange over time comes together. And along with this, many other factors comes together. That's why relationships are complicated. So here, what we really need to do is, or what is relationship complexology is all about is, it is understanding why relationships becomes complicated even when people genuinely care for each other. So today's entire concept explains that why relationships are, the relationships are not difficult, but, or I would say, the relationships appears to be difficult, but the people in the relationship are not bad. Because there are many invisible things that are working together at the same given point of time. Most of the counselings that I take, or I would say 70 to 80% of counselings, 70 to 80% of women who approach towards me for counseling, their underlying problem is relationships. So today's session becomes very important because we must understand, we must know that relationships are complicated, and when we know certain pointers, when we know certain things, it would be very easy for us to handle the relationships in our lives. And the very moment we understand, okay, relationships are complicated because of all these reasons, a lot of our expectations drop from it. Especially women, what happens whenever they get into a relationship, the first thing that goes into her mind is, I will do everything to make it work, and my relationship is going to be the best. But over the period of time, so many things comes into picture which she wouldn't have even analyzed about. So today we are going to understand what is relationship all about and what makes it complicated. So we don't enter any relationship empty. We carry our childhood, we carry our experiences, we carry our past pains and old hurts. So two people could be meeting for the first time, but emotionally, many people have already entered their minds, their emotions. For example, if someone was ignored earlier in their life, then even a single delay in response, they feel like rejection. So, is this right? No. But the delay could be due to any genuine reason, but the person does not see from what is happening in the present, but he sees from the lens of his past. That's why that situation becomes complicated. In relationships, mostly people react first and understand later. Why? Because emotions move very fast than logic. Before we even think, the body reacts. And later, the mind starts creating stories for it. A simple example which would have happened in every household is if one of the partner has come home very quiet, then the other person takes it with a lot of unease because their mind doesn't keep quiet and it says something is wrong. A small silence becomes a big issue, whereas the other person would have just been tired because of having you know a very tired day. That's why he's silent. Another thing which really causes a relationship to be complicated is we expect things without saying. In most relationships, problems come from unspoken expectations. People assume that the other person will just know, the other person will just understand. But the reality is, if we cannot understand our own selves, how can the other person understand us? Many times it happens, no, when a situation happens, we react and then we say, why did I react in that way? I should have reacted or responded better. So, if we don't understand ourselves, how can the other person understand us? So, always remember, replace the word expectation with expression. Just express what you want, and it resolves 50% of the complications in relationships. Another complicating factor in relationship is people confuse the word of love or friendship with adjustment. Many people think friendship in a relationship means adjusting or compromising or sacrificing. So, more I do, more I adjust, more I compromise, or more I sacrifice, then that means I really like love or I'm having a lot of friendship towards the person. So, here the key is occasional adjustment is fine. Occasional adjustment can be considered as liking, but constant adjustment is self loss. If a person keeps saying yes to avoid conflict, outwardly it may bring peace, but inwardly it will bring a huge conflict. And later, this one factor brings bitterness. And this portion is mostly done by the women, where they say, let me adjust this time. Let me adjust one more time. Let me compromise one more time. And what happens? One thing leads to other. So, occasional compromise or where the things doesn't matter much, compromising is okay. But compromising every time becomes a habit. So, you must identify it for yourself. Another root cause is different people calm themselves in different ways. For example, if I am stressed, just for example, if I am stressed, I may handle it by expressing it out. I may handle it by telling what happened, by seeking clarity. Whereas another person may handle the same stressful situation just by being quiet. Whereas the third person may come out of stress by being into an action. So everyone has a different tone, everyone has a different approach of coming out of stress, coming out of that anxiety, or coming out of that burdened emotions. So, what is important here is we must understand what is the way the other person behaves, especially when we are in relationship. We need not know everybody's pattern, but at least we must know what is the other person's pattern with whom we are staying, so that if the other person withdraws tomorrow, we will not assume it as they are avoiding us, but we will just take it as okay, this person behaves in this particular manner. For example, one of my friend, I always used to observe her whenever we meet. Maybe it could take 1 year, it could take 6 months, it could take 10 days, in our distance in meeting. Whenever we meet, always she was active or she was outspoken for 15 minutes. And after that, she used to withdraw. Withdraw in the sense she used to get into her own world, or just get into the actions, or just seek, okay, what's next. So, this I understood over patterns. Initially, I thought, okay, something happened. Okay, maybe something is wrong or something is not working. But after three, four, five, six meetings, I understood it's not a problem, but it is her behavioral trait where, in a certain conversation, her focus in that particular area or that conversation or with that person only lasts for 10 to 15 minutes, and after that it's withdrawn. So when I understood that pattern, there was no more stress. Whenever we would meet, I knew, okay, the attention span of the other person is 15 minutes. Fine. Utilize that 15 minutes and then relax. No complaints. So every person handles it in a different way. So we must know what is the body language, what are the patterns of at least our family members, so that we can be better in our relationships. Next is, we always see in relationships, big things doesn't create big problems. Small issues create big problems, right? How many of you agree with me? Small issues create big problems because arguments and fights are rarely about the current moment. Small triggers open up the old emotional storage. One small thing would have happened. But it is never about the moment. It is always about the bin that we are carrying. Maybe 10 times you would have ignored the situation. Yes, let me leave, let me leave, let me leave. 11th time it bursts out, and it's very natural that both people distract from the current situation. This happens, and this is very common in every relationship. So, what is the best funda for it? Just clear the smallest issues. And when I say clear small issues, it doesn't mean always you have to sit with the other person and clear. No. You can clear any given issue with your buddhi, with your intelligence, with the wisdom that you have. Like drama would have happened, you can say, hey, life is a drama. Okay, how does it impact my purpose? Let me move on. Or, okay, raat gai baat gai. It's done. That chapter is over. It is past. Let me move on. With your own intelligence, with your own spiritual experience, with your wisdom, you can come out of it. Still, if you're unable to come out, just go for a closure. But do not pile up things. This is a beautiful habit I had from my childhood where I always, some or the other ways, I always had friends in my life who were there to sit, who were there to listen, who were there to understand. So anything would have happened around me, I would have gone and I would have cleared it with one person saying, these things happened, these things affected, these are the conclusions. So keeping a full stop in your mind is important. You should not carry the emotional weight for weeks, months, or years, because that damages your own well-being. So here the underlining key point is repeated patterns matter more than the single events. One incident never break a relationship, but the patterns does. Like I know few women when they come for counseling, they ask, "Ma'am, I want to be a vegetarian. I want to take certain steps, but I fear that it will break my relationship." Because so far I was hearing, listening to my husband, suddenly when I take a stand, it will break. And I would always tell them, you taking a stand will only bring a slight conflict for a temporary period of time, but that will never break a relationship, because relationship breaks over a several patterns and never on one moment or on one event. It could be even for a friendship. One incident would have happened and the person would have called it off that, we are no more friends. But if you carefully or deeply analyze, you will realize that he has broken the friendship or that relationship immediately, but he was waiting to break it from quite a incidents or quite a period of time. Lot of triggers were coming and they were waiting, and one small incident or big incident cut. So, you taking one stand will never break any kind of relationship. In fact, I would tell this to all women, being honest with yourself and verbally expressing of what you want, it will never break a relationship. It will make the relationship more transparent and more clear. Suppose if your partner says, let us go to that place. And if you are not interested, and on other hand, there is lot of resistance coming from you. But if you compromising and you adjust, let us go, that will definitely impact your inner systems, although it could be invisible. But at the same time, if you take a stand and if you say, hey, I don't want to come, because there is a resistance from me. So either you go or maybe next time we will plan. When you tell these things, initially a small friction, conflict, or a rupture might happen, but on a long run, when you see, the honesty always takes full points in the relationship. And this I learned it from my Guruji Patriji. He once told, when a person asked, when a person asked a question that, sir, if I be honest and if I just express the thing, whatever is in my heart, won't that break the relationship? And Patriji said that will never break a relationship. It may temporarily cause a conflict or friction, but on a larger scale, on a long run, that will sustain your relationship. So always be open, always be honest, and always be verbal about things. If you want something, clearly mention, I want this thing. If you want to go somewhere, tell, I want to go somewhere. And if because of the other person is stopping you and you're not able to go, express it that I want to go there, but since you're stopping me, I'm not going. Express it and then go to the next chapter of your life. And this will bring a huge change, which you will see in a over a period of time. Now, another very, very, very important point is every woman should understand that in a relationship, conflict is very normal and avoidance of the conflict is harmful. Relationship is never without conflicts. The biggest myth is whenever two people get into relationships, they will only think, yes, relationship will be very beautiful. But if you enter a relationship saying, yes, I'm entering a relationship, I'll have so many experiences, both beautiful and it will also have conflicts. When you enter with this mindset, The problem will not arise. When beautiful things will happen, you'll enjoy it. When conflicted things will happen, you will learn from it. But instead, what happens whenever a conflict happens? The woman becomes silent or she ignores it. Remember, whatever emotion we ignore, it never disappears, but it stays it gets stored in our body and it stores in our mind and it comes out in a later point as triggers. So, always remember having conflict in a relationship is very healthy, but you not speaking about it or avoiding it is unhealthy, and that will create a problem. So, if you are hurt about anything, if you are not liking anything, express it. Express it with soft words. At least that emotion has come out. But if you don't tell it, it will just blast out like a volcano. Another important point, and the last point is friendship alone is not enough in a relationship. There has to be a lot of awareness. When a woman gets into a relationship, she always thinks, okay, love, the concept of love doesn't exist. That's why I always use the word friendship. So, a woman always thinks that my love or my friendship is enough to survive this relationship. It never happens that way. If you're not a person of awareness, how much ever emotions you would have, it would not help you to sustain the relationship. You must always know that people will repeat the same mistakes. People will have the same issues, people will have the same conflicts. But if you have emotional maturity, okay, along with that, if you have enough friendship to offer, then the relationship will go long term and the relationship will sustain very, very beautifully. So, relationship complexology teaches us that relationships are not complicated by people, but they are complicated, but a relationship is complicated because of unconscious patterns. So, when we bring awareness, when we bring light, our relationships become simple, lighter, clearer, and kinder. So, thank you very much. This was all for today.